Hey guys, what's up? I've played DPS for a very long time. It's been most of my hours on Overwatch. I've put, I think it's 500 hours into just DPS, right? 130 into Sombra, 80 into Ashe, 50 Tracer, Cassidy and stuff, right? Lots of DPS hours. I've played other shooters and stuff, so, you know, it kind of made sense why I'd go for DPS, but I also was an MMORPG player, so there's a bit of a mix there of what I liked and what I disliked, right? But I've played DPS for a while. But recently, I've been playing lots of Brig, as people know, so I've been playing lots of support, which means, obviously I don't always get to play Brigs. There's been some Zen games, some Ana games, and BAP games, right? So I've been playing lots of support, right? And I've also been playing tank for some reason. This season I've actually played quite a lot of tank, because when I do overplay with people, quite a lot of the time I have to play tank because it's my lowest rank, and a lot of the people I sometimes play with are maybe like either low diamond or plat or whatever, right? So I can't actually play support without it being the wide match and then the queue time's like 12 minutes. And if you've already convinced someone to play the game, you don't want to then put them in a queue for 50 minutes. Yeah, just a tip. My main point of me saying that is that I've noticed how different DPS does feel. I think DPS feels like a very, very different game. Support and tank are their own thing, and then DPS is like it feels very, very different. This is not a positive thing or a negative thing. This is just more of a discussion of like, why does DPS feel so different and maybe unique or not unique even, you know, that type of thing, right? It doesn't matter if you like DPS, don't like DPS, prefer one thing to the other, like both. I like both, and I'm just going to discuss what makes it different. Let's get into it. First off, the big elephant in the room is mechanics. Most DPS players will ride this train of, you know, mechanics the most important because their role mechanics is like the most important, right? It's one of the highest in terms of you need to have good mechanics. You don't always. Now, obviously, you know, you can coach people into just playing properly without even touching mechanics, but it is something that you're going to have to face at a point. There is, you have to hit a shot at a point. You can be on a really good angle, but if you aren't hitting the Sojourn rail to the head, the at least one like Ashe headshot per like 2 minutes, then you're just not doing anything, right? You're just not. Like, it's as blunt as it gets. You need aim, really, to play DPS at a higher level. Now, there are characters that are exceptions to this, but it's a way more mechanic-oriented role, even with, like, skill shots and stuff. And so I can feel like bad aim days really mess you up. Like, other roles might not have it as much because you have other things you can rely on. But when I played DPS for a while, right, if I had it, like, yesterday. So 2 days ago, so I played Ashe again, because I haven't played Ashe in a while, and I had like 5 like incredible games. I was even flexing a Widow at point. I'm not a Widow player, but I was like cleaning up lobbies, hitting so many headshots, and it's like, it was so good, it felt great. But then yesterday, I was like, I'll warm up a bit just so it's not that bad. I just couldn't do it. It was close. It was like half my full potential of aiming, but it wasn't as good, and that really messes you up. It makes the day worse. It just you can't win as many games because of it. So that definitely feels like it's a factor. There's consistency in terms of, you know, game sense, mental position, stuff like that. But there's also another factor in you need the consistent aim, which is very hard to build up. That takes a lot of time. Mechanics are usually time. You can do practices, but I was watching a PG stream and someone like literally donated and said, have you ever played Kovac? He said, no, I fucking suck at it. PGE sucks at Kovac. So like, what these aim trainers don't do anything, right? They make you better at the aim trainer, right? Mechanics are made in game, and with intentional, deliberate fixing of bad habits. That could be, you know, like on Tracer, not dumping a whole mag, you know, trigger discipline, stuff like that. Those are skills you can get better at over time. DPS, also, there's also pressure to hit shots. I think other roles, it doesn't really matter, but like your character is kind of like, shit, I'm not hitting anything. I'm not hitting my, this isn't working. I messed it up. Whereas I feel like when I'm playing Brig, or even when I'm playing BAP, and it's like, well, whatever, I was able to heal my team there still. Oh, okay, I just threw lamp down. Like, yeah, it wasn't perfect. I would have loved to, you know, kill that guy or whatever, but it's whatever. Whereas in DPS, it really feels like you have so much pressure just to be hitting your shots, which is fine. It's part of the role, but it's why it feels so different. It feels so much more similar to those shooter games where you need to hit your shot. Like, if you're playing CS and you're holding an angle and you miss, it's like, fuck, you're dead, man. You missed your shot. There's a pressure for your team to hit that shot. But you don't feel that as much on like tank and support, really at all. Tank and support, while some do take some mechanics, can really rely back onto their brain and their game sense and stuff like that. So like, even if you're not having a great day on Ana, Ana has quite a big size on her bullet, so if you're missing that much on Ana, then it is a slight skill issue. But even then, you could rely on the fact that you're able to hit a good nade, a good sleep, or you're able to hit the important shot or whatever. Or BAP, you throw out a good lamp. You know, you could just swap to a character like Brig that doesn't even require really mechanics apart from hitting a whip shot, which isn't even that difficult to hit. You know, there's stuff like that. You can rely on other stuff, whereas DPS players rely on their mechanics. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm doing this, whatever, but I hit the shot. It was a terrible decision to do that, but I killed him, so I don't care. Whereas on support, it's sometimes like, oh, I'm not hitting stuff. I'm just going to, you know, rely on the fact that I know how the game works. Anyway, next part, skill floor. Skill floor is something I talk about quite a lot. I've been doing it recently for some reason. I know people probably get tired of it, but I do think DPS characters, most heroes in the DPS roster are actually quite high skill floor characters. You know, a lot of other ones are like not, you know, have some easy picks or some mid-tier picks, but a lot of the like important DPSs are quite high skill floor. Hitscan itself is, although I like to meme about it being a stupidly easy role, but inherently Hitscan's a high skill floor role because your main requirement is to be hitting the shot, right? Which I think is significantly more difficult for the average player than a lot of the other characters. Because you actually have to aim and people are fast moving, there's lots of things happening, right? Obviously, if you come from other FPSs, this is the easiest part, right? But I think hitscans are inherently got a higher skill floor than most characters in the game just because of it. And now you hitscan mains, shut up, your role's not that difficult, but you do have a barrier of entry of you need to hit shots. But also within hitscan exists Genji, Tracer, Echo, Pharah, even Sombra. Don't even with Sombra, it has a high skill floor. And then Sojourn, right, who's also kind of hitscan anyway. But, you know, those are a lot of that. I just listed like 8 or so, 6 actually, 6 heroes that are high skill floor. They're difficult. Those are difficult heroes. Those are more difficult than probably like half the tank roster and support roster. They're hard heroes. So that's what can feel really different sometimes. DPS can feel really punishing because a lot of the characters require so much time and so much practice, right? They're tough. Tank and support just have more available lower floors, whereas I do think support, oddly enough, has a lot of mid-tier floors, right? Moira is clearly the really low one, and I think Mercy has a low floor, but like characters like Ana, Brig, they kind of have like mid-tier floors, which is kind of interesting, I think. You know, like I've never really talked about that, but a mid-tier floor where it's like, yeah, I mean, you kind of have to play a bit, but yeah, it's not that hard, but it takes a little bit. You know, that's what support has. But tank does have like Orissas and Malgas and fucking there's another character like Hog, and like it's a bit like these characters are just, you know, just don't die simulator, and they're a little low floor, which can make it feel a little better. Anyway, next discussion. FPS/MOBA. That's what this game is kind of was advertised as and is known as. It's FPS with like MOBA elements because it has abilities. That really is it. DPS is just way closer to traditional FPS game. Like that's just obvious, isn't it? Like if you're playing like Cassidy or Ash or something, you are just shooting. There's not much in the line of like MOBA elements or whatever. It's sort of just those traditional FPS stuff. So usually fans of those games that come from CS, Valorant, or Call of Duty, or, you know, just playing FPS games will really gravitate towards DPS. It's just kind of natural. Whereas people that played like MMORPGs and MOBAs and stuff will definitely, you know, resonate more with the support and tanks because it's more of being able to play that PvP of a character that's, you know, unique and distinct and got all these, you know, different elements going on about them. Like, you think about like Reinhardt wouldn't work in any other shooter game, but Reinhardt works really well here because of the way the game's made. So that's quite unique. But I think a CS player wouldn't be like, oh, I want to play Reinhardt. It doesn't really make any sense. But, I mean, it happens, I guess. But, you know, that type of thing. MOBA players as well will gravitate towards these, not just the MMORPG ones, like the MOBA ones, because, like, yeah, there's mechanics in MOBAs. Like, you would say, like, a lead character could be mechanical, but it's not aim, right? Not really aim. It's a different type of aim with skill shots and stuff. So you might already gravitate towards support and tank, just because they're typically going to be a little easier in terms of not needing to aim. That's really it. Anyway, my next point, and my final point, just to try to wrap this up a little bit, DPS does just feel different. There's just a different feel to the game. If you play DPS, like for a bit, you'll probably notice this. DPS just feels, I don't know why. I can't explain why. It just does feel different because it feels like you're playing, like when I play support and tank, I feel like I'm playing Overwatch, and then when I feel when I play DPS, it feels like I'm playing a really unique shooter game, right? Which I think is really, really cool. It just scratches an itch. It used to be, I don't know if it is the most popular role anymore. It used to be by far the most popular role. It does just scratch this certain thing, this shooter edge, but with unique, distinct characters and a flow to the game. It does scratch something. It's an unexplainable itch. You know, high action per minute gameplay, like maybe you came from CS or Valorant and you really like the shooting or whatever, but you know, you like the high activeness that exists in Overwatch, and so you pick up like Ashe or Widow. It's great. Anyway, in conclusion, in the end of the day, each role is still just Overwatch. Like, the game is Overwatch, right? DPS feels different to me, and it feels like it's quite a unique role. And it just feels like you're playing a different game sometimes. But in the end of the day, it is also Overwatch. And DPS may mostly feel different, but heroes like Mei, Sim, and Venture kind of border that line of, you know, those characters are very unique and not just like shooter-oriented. They actually are unique, distinct characters with like MOBA-like or MMORPG-like playstyles, right? They're really cool. They're really cool. Let me know your thoughts. Are you a DPS player? Are you a support player? Are you a tank player? When you flex DPS, does it feel that different, or does it just feel like the same thing? Does it, you know, whatever? I love both support and DPS. I really do mix between them now quite a lot of the time, which is kind of why I'm not improving as much, because I keep playing other shit. But you know, whatever. Until the new character comes out, we're just chill and have whatever. I love it. I love how they're two different things, support and DPS. It feels like I have two different Overwatches, which actually leads to less burnout. So if you feel like you burn out, just play the other role for a bit. You know, just mix and match between them. Play quick, play queued for all roles, and just mess around. You'll probably get tanked though, but still, just mess about, have fun with it. Anyway. Peace and love. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below and what you think I should talk about next. I'm probably going to work on another hero analysis style video close to like maybe an Echo or a Venture type of thing, because two people said that, and I think those are two good characters to talk about. But yeah. I do want to do analysis of a tank though. I haven't done a tank yet. So if you guys have any suggestions for like what tank I should talk about, let me know. Anyway, this video's long enough. See you all in the next one.